Welcome to Rulebooks Anonymous.
You'll be the first person to attack someone or try to screw
Yeah, because this is a game.
I don't like it that you have 7 cards.
Yeah,
You can only have 5.
he wanted you to pay it up.
That's right.
For us to give a price would be insanity.
I was running around like a hero with my fire extinguisher.
Putting out all sorts of fires, literal and non-literal. In this game, Manda went screaming up the mountain.
We ended up winning, didn't we?
Rulebooks Anonymous.
Dennis, you're not dead yet. Or maybe you are. I don't. Maybe no. Is there a heartbeat?
Hold on.
He's
Sort of.
dead, Jim.
He's dead, Jim.
Hey, I had this great idea for a zombie flick where cultists bring Elvis back from the dead, but they bring him back as a zombie. I was going to call it Return of the King.
Wasn't that Bubba Hotep?
No. Every time he bites somebody, they turn into an Elvis impersonator zombie.
Oh,
So instead of the it's the
Yeah.
oh.
We have a
Welcome to-
special.
Well, we got to introduce
really
ourselves.
bad.
Welcome to Rulebooks Anonymous, sponsors of your addictions to board games, card games, video games, mind games. No,
not so much.
no
No.
mind games.
Don't do
We
it.
don't like those.
Yeah, Reverend D still alive and kicking
Reverend
somehow.
D. It's Reverend D.
It's Reverend
So
D. I'm
just-
going with it.
Just as we told you, the character that died from Rulebooks Anonymous was...
It was Lucy. Sorry, guys. The dog's dead.
Oh, she's still alive. She's right here and kicking.
I mean, sometimes it smells like she's dying.
It was whatever she ate. Died.
Wait, that
and
was alive
crawled
at
out of
some
her
point?
butt.
Oh, it was alive.
Ew.
So, yeah, we got Reverend D here. We got my wife.
Me.
And then me, who am sultry.
Do we change it to couch, James? 'Cause
Couch
you got the
James?
couch.
I do like the couch.
Sultry
CJ.
on the couch.
Sultry.
James.
But we also have a
Sultry
special
on the
guest
couch.
today. We have a special guest.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Nathan.
I needed.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
You're right. I am special, and I know you've called me friend of the show, Nathan, or Smart Shark, Nathan.
Smart Shark Nathan is a good
I
one.
like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Smart Shark Nathan. We're going with that.
He's the shark that just annihilated us in the Jaws game.
Oh, God, yeah.
Nathan Shark.
He's not allowed to play the shark.
You have to play as a human next time.
Please.
We just have
Let's
to
do it.
we have to see if like you playing as a human like alters how we
Or if we
you know.
just really suck.
That's entirely
Well, who's
possible.
going to be
too.
our shark?
Well, now we can't have
Amanda
anyone
needs to
play
be the shark.
Oh, you call me the dumb friend?
No. That was not the insinuation whatsoever.
She laid that title on whoever was going to be
Yeah,
The next
she
shark.
said you have to
Yeah.
let the dumb friend play the shark. That was a big burn.
Does that mean we should let Chad be the shark?
Oh, that's not
that
nice.
a
He
burn?
can't
You
even
can't do that to the
defend
Chad.
himself.
I'm just kidding. I love Chad. Sorry, Chad.
All
For
right.
those that don't know, I've always been in the background of every recording.
He's just sitting there staring at us.
He just sits there quietly.
Just
The
quietly
avatar
staring.
over
Stroking the
Amanda's
couch.
I'm
He's my
stroking the
avatar
couch.
holder, yeah.
Yeah, he holds the avatar. My wife.
Now, as you may have noticed, it is the month of October. If you're listening to when this first runs,
Spooky ghost.
Spooky
Yes.
season?
Spook season?
spook season.
Spooksin? Spooksin? Spooky dookie?
I'm just watching Scooby Doo.
Is
at
that
this
white
point.
poop? Spooky dookie? White poop?
We've been
Ew.
making
Not white
Penny
people
watch.
poop.
White people.
We've been
Just
making
white
Penny
poop.
watch all of our like old, the
Scary-
Halloween shows
the Addams
from-
Family. Do 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 do.
Oh, she loved it.
Is there a board game for Addams Family?
There was one that
God,
came
baby.
out when the first film came out, and I had it, and my brother and I played it all the time, and it was actually not bad. It was
Cool.
okay. It was kind of like a set collection.
Okay.
It was pretty good. I think you can find used copies for pretty cheap because it's not like the greatest game ever.
Is it like Monopoly?
No.
Addams Family style?
No.
See, I was envisioning it more like Clue.
No, it's not even Clue. It's more like I can't even think of a game to really compare it to
Okay.
off the top of my
when
head.
we
but
old people were children, they tried to make games that weren't just Monopoly.
Yeah.
yeah, they tried.
Too many Monopoly.
Now
I don't
there's
know, but now like anytime there's a movie made into a game, it is Monopoly. Like
That's because it's easy. You just slap a couple of names on there and call it good.
I think my favorite one that came out recently was Warhammer Monopoly. I went, What?
Why?
Why? Why would you do that?
It's all for the minis.
But no.
I
No.
wonder if they'll make a Jumanji Monopoly, you know?
I'm pretty sure that
because it's a movie made out of a game.
I'm not going to even try to abbreviate that because I insult a race of people.
Jumanji. Jumopoly. Jumopoly.
Menanji.
Menage.
There we go. We saved it. All right.
Police Menage.
But anyways, with this being the spooky month of October, we're diving right into that stuff. So
We're
we've
doing
got
it.
spooky games.
Spooky games, and today we're going to talk about Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's a game for 3 to 6 players, ages 12 plus. It's about 60 minutes. That depends. That depends on the game and the scenario and things like that. Because it can go 2 hours, but I've also had games go like 30 minutes. I think ours.
We got about 45, I want to say.
Yeah, because we'll talk about that later.
We've had games as short as like 15.
40. No, we haven't had any. 50.
We had a really short one.
Which one? I don't remember
It
that
was a
one.
long time ago.
It must have been.
We've been playing this game since like
It must have gone very
2014.
poorly for someone.
The Haunted.
I mean, they go fast when you die.
Men
right?
at Work was
That's
a
true.
short game.
That's a very
there's
short game.
Yeah.
The most
We've
recent
already talked about
version
that.
was published in 2004. It was originally published long before that, sometime in the 80s by Avalon Hill. And it was designed by Rob Davio. And in Betrayal, players take control of a character. There's all kinds of different characters, your different horror film archetypes. And you explore a house through tiles. You fight off both mental and physical damage. As time goes on, haunt rolls will occur if you enter a room that have these omen symbols. And if the haunt is triggered, one of the players will take over the role of the haunted person and will read a scenario book that provides details of how they will try to beat the players, while the survivors will read their own specific book, which again provides details on how they will either win or escape from the house.
Basically, that player's possessed.
Yeah. Basically, they either get murdered and body taken over, or some sort of situation. The game is very similar to most of your dungeon crawlers in play style. You have the characters with different stats, mental, physical abilities, and you use that to combat monsters, try not to go crazy because the walls start crawling or whatever, things like that.
That's not normal?
No, that's not normal. You shouldn't do that.
Oh, I might have to do something about
You
my
might need to
house.
call the Ghostbusters.
Yes.
But, yeah,
I'm
so...
a reverend. I can do the
I'm
exorcism.
going to do my own exorcism. But the question remains, will you survive the haunted house on the hill?
I did, dang it.
We did.
You guys
this
did.
Game.
Yeah, I was a mad scientist, and I made a cat companion friend.
You did.
And I was a creepy little girl with a chainsaw.
Oh, yeah, you did get the chainsaw, huh?
That's what saved our butts.
Amanda's got a
So,
saw.
we played with the Widow's Walk expansion that came out 2 years ago, I believe it was. So all those
Yes.
cards and rooms and whatnot were included. I think it just adds a little bit more variety to the base game, which I really appreciate personally.
Give some spice to it.
Yeah.
I did the smartest thing. I wasn't even the movie. I just wasn't there. Just didn't go into that haunted house.
His character was on the couch at home just eating some Cheetos, watching movies. Said, "Screw this, I'm out."
I was watching House on the Haunted Hill.
He was watching us die.
Watching them die, going, "What's going on there?"
You guys didn't find the cameras.
The interactive.
Oh, good.
We didn't see
It was like that movie with Jim Carrey. What's that movie
Truman
called?
Show?
Truman
Truman
Show.
Show.
Yeah, it was like that.
Oh, no, The Grinch, right?
Oh.
What about Christmas, right?
13. Let's
think
really
that's the
go for the
scariest thing about
obscure
the
Jim
season.
Carrey movies.
The scariest thing about the season right now is Christmas is already in our halls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is. I was looking the other day. I think we're like 79 days from Christmas or something.
It's gotta be 100 something.
No.
It's less than 3 months.
It was like 84 days when I looked during the week, and I can't remember what day it was, but I think it might have been Tuesday when I looked, so I think we're pretty close to...
Stuff like that almost makes me anti-Christmas. I think my new favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
It is the greatest holiday, but we're...
Football, turkey,
It's one of 2 days I
alcohol.
can justify drinking before 10 a.m.
Well, because you're watching the Rams lose
Yes.
to the Seattle Seahawks.
Hey, they couldn't see. It's because
Are they
it was
gonna make it that
retina
far?
destroying green.
I don't know if they're going to.
Oh, no.
I
they're not.
took the Seahawks in that game, sorry.
I
bet
got
on them.
a little
Missed field
football
goal.
onesie to wear.
Yeah. But, so, while playing Betrayal, the game was so quick because the...
The Omen cards kept on coming.
Well,
Those piled up
they came up pretty
quick.
quick, but that wasn't even the biggest issue. The biggest issue was I was playing the Betrayer, and I
No surprise there.
not smartly went headlong into attacking you guys because my goal was just to kill you guys. And was it Manda that one-shot me?
Yep, she had
I
a
just
chainsaw.
killed you, like,
Yeah,
boom.
she just put me down almost immediately.
You got murdered by a little tiny girl.
Yep.
Yeah, my magical cat saved me.
If I had just hung back
I
a
called
little
him
bit
Steve.
and let my minions, because I had, I think, 5 minions or something. They're supposed to be like these demon things.
You're allowed to place those, right? Or did it tell you specifically?
Per the
had
rules, I had to
place?
place it. So that's one of the interesting things about the game is the fact that the scenario is different every time, and I think there's 100 scenarios now with the expansion.
Let's just say James and I have been playing this game since 2014, and we have never played the same scenario.
I've only had one that was ever going to be duplicated,
But we decided
but
to
we
change
just changed it to a different one, which you can do because it just depends on the omen, the room, and then the omen card that's drawn. So you just kind of mix it up. As long as they're on the table, it doesn't really matter.
Like, it came with a bunch of games itself, but you can also find some on the internet that people
Oh yeah, there's a lot of fan-made ones that I have
That's
too.
right. I couldn't remember if this was the one you were telling me about, where
Yeah.
people have written their own scenarios. for
Yeah,
it.
there's a ton of like fan-written scenarios that are really, really good. But then, like I said, Widow's Walk came out, and so they added another 50 scenarios. So,
Basically, you could play this game for years and
oh yeah, I
play
mean,
it differently every time.
I would argue that you and I have played it, I don't know,
Hundreds. Times.
no, not that many times. Probably
It's
45 times
it's
total.
my favorite game. You guys have heard me mention it several times before.
Probably 45 times in the
Yeah.
last 4 or 5 years. We played it a lot. I mean, there was times where we
Hello?
play it over and over and over and over again. Which is fine because it's an easy game to teach. Like I can teach it pretty quickly. I think it was pretty easy for you.
Oh
to
yeah,
pick up,
we
right,
caught
Dennis?
we caught on pretty quick because it was you two plus me and Lisa.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those build-a-boards. So I mean, your board's not even going to look the same every time.
We've had some crazy, crazy houses come out.
Yeah, we've had it last for a long time, and we've had them really short. But it's so funny because in the past when we've played, we've played a lot with our friend Danny.
Yeah, Danny Lou.
Danny Lou always ends up being the betrayer, and he always just
God, he's really good at it.
he's really good at it. He's like evil in real life or something.
Yeah. But I know that one of the houses that we did, you have the front passage or front doorway, and as this house got built out, I would say something like 60 to 70% of the house was in front of the front door.
Oh Jesus!
Like it just slowly crept that way, and we just kept it going. It was pretty great.
Have
So
you ever?
Winchester House style.
Basically.
Yeah.
We went down.
Have you ever played it?
You know, I haven't played this one now that you've
Oh,
described
okay.
it, but there are a lot in this genre, like House on Haunted Hill on House. That's a medical version.
Does it have Dr. House in it?
I mean, copyright.
TM.
Yeah.
Yes, TM. We don't own the rights.
No,
We
right.
will
They
never.
didn't either, so it was just House Doctor.
House Dog.
He comes to your house and he doctors.
I call it Doctor Apartment just to be funny.
This game is just really special to me because I feel like it is one of the games that has got me really into board games. It's the one that showed me it doesn't have to be that conventional, go around the board and roll your dice, and the 800 different Monopoly styles that you can buy.
801, please.
You can, but you don't have to.
I'm really a fan of RPG style storytelling games, and so that definitely tells a story each time.
Oh yeah.
A different story each time too, which
Yep.
is really nice.
Yep. So it's definitely something I think would be right up your alley.
Oh yeah. And with the RPG thing, I'm with Nathan. I like the RPG games because you can almost imagine it in your head. You feel like you're reading a story or watching a movie as you're doing it.
Well, it's definitely that eldritch horror too. That you thought you knew what reality was. You're going to get messed with.
Sure.
Ties to Lovecraft, which
Yes.
are always nice.
Which, going back to one of our earlier episodes, I think we talked about Mansions of Madness, and I think that one you have played, correct?
I really like that one. I need to get my own copy.
And although the game is different, they very much have the same feel to them in that, you're exploring these things. It's not always a house in Mansions of Madness. It could be like the streets of Arkham, which...
Wasn't there also a lighthouse?
I'm trying to remember all the scenarios there might have been.
Streets of Arkham, because Arkham is one of those famous Lovecraft locations, I think.
Yeah, there's one scenario that basically Chad and I had played in mansions, and you're on the street, and this mob is trying to kill you, and they're circling the building, and so you're trying to run out and do stuff at like this boathouse and run back, and they keep coming around and hitting you every time they come around, and it's very stressful.
Oh yeah.
I would say like the big difference between Betrayal and Mansions of Madness is in Betrayal, it's a game where you are cooperative until one person turns against everyone.
Yep.
And then in Mansions of Madness, it's everyone fighting against the house.
Yep. Or the
whatever.
the baddies.
Yeah.
Well, Betrayal also has a lot less monsters until someone becomes possessed, right?
Well, yeah. Generally
I
speaking,
don't recall us having to fight.
No,
anything.
you don't really have
only-
a lot of
It was like
drama
booby
going
traps.
on until someone betrays you.
Yeah, the early part of the game is really just the exploration of the house.
Building.
You're building the house out. You're running into occasionally creepy things that are happening, or there's a few of the I can't even think of what they're called right now. The event cards.
Yeah.
That they do have like a little monster that pops up, like a crazed person. You walk in a room and there's some crazy dude sitting there, and he, lashes out at you, and you have to try and avoid or evade his hit.
'Cause you want to stay strong before the haunting happens.
Yep. So
Gather as many materials and
there are
resources as possible.
things that cause issues before, but yeah, the real monsters don't come out until the haunt occurs.
Okay.
So what's the story to get you into it? Like, why are you at the house?
There really isn't a whole lot of flavor text that I recall, in so much as you're just in this house exploring. Like your group got there. Not that I recall.
Shaggy and Scooby were hungry. And,
Oh, okay.
Well, the interesting thing about it is the characters in the game are so different, so it would be kind of interesting to have a backstory because you have, what is it? You get 6 cards, and they each have, you can flip them, and they can be different, they're different characters. But there's always like a little boy or a little girl, a mad scientist, or...
Or are you talking about the companions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking because
the different
character,
tropes. Yeah, there's
yeah.
the old scientist / old man. There's the jock type. There's the
cheerleader or something.
The cheerleader. There's the other just prissy girl. There's the
Esmeralda.
Small
chick-
children.
there's like the mystic or whatever you want to call her. There's the small Asian kid.
is clear.
He does
No,
kind of
no,
look like
it's
the
not.
kid from Indiana Jones.
He really does.
Dr. John.
He's actually one of my favorite characters to play as because he's actually really good in the house. He's not super strong, but as I recall, he's really fast.
Well, and that's the other
Gotta
thing.
go,
when
Dr. Jones.
Well, that's the other thing. When you're picking your character, you want to make sure you have a good balance of stats.
Oh, for sure.
Because you might be able to be physically strong but mentally weak, or vice versa. Or you might find some character that has at least an even enough mix that you could find equipment or something to help balance that out.
Well, and that kind of leads to one of the biggest criticisms that this game has suffered from its original release
Yeah.
all the way through now is that
It's kind of stacked.
it's really swingy, so much that the haunt may start and it may almost be impossible for either the haunter or the haunted to actually complete their goal. And it has nothing to do with the initial setup of the game or anything like that. It's just, you may need to find rooms X, Y, and Z. Well, X, Y, and Z haven't come out of the stack yet. So now you got to race around this house trying to find these rooms. Or conversely, X, Y, and Z may be within a few spaces of all your characters, and all you have to do is go and get in that room. Something like that.
Okay.
And so it's incredibly swingy in that most people accept that this is not I'm going to play this game and I'm going to do well because I've changed my strategy and, I've learned from past mistakes. It is an experience more than anything.
But I think that's kind of what makes it fun. I don't think you always have to have a game where you use strategy or change it. The thing that makes it
fair.
fun is it is unpredictable.
That's
Would
fair.
you ever say that it's too easy?
There have been scenarios that I have played personally where it was incredibly easy for me to complete what I was doing as either the haunt or the hauntees.
Like this last one, it was really easy for me to kill
It was easier for you guys, but that was more... That one was probably more just because I was a dummy and didn't play right.
Living out those fantasies.
Well, I think part of that was like you attacked me, your minions attacked me, and I survived, and then you you personally went after Amanda.
Because I was
because you were like you were like one room away or something like that, and then
so
she
I went after her
you.
and she chainsawed me. If I had not done that, I probably would have killed you on the next turn, and probably would have been able to move my minions towards Amanda and take her out that way.
You would have taken my cat. That's not cool.
Yeah, I just want the kitty.
Yeah. Well, and talking about like the different rooms coming up and everything, that's why it's such a nice game. There is that randomization factor, so
sure
you don't know what you're going to get. So while you may not have room X, Y, and Z, I mean, there's just, like I said, all the boards are going to be different.
Yep.
I feel like you have games that you play because you want to use strategy, and then I feel like there's games you want to play just for entertainment factors.
Sure.
And this would be just an entertainment
and I would
type of game.
I would lump things like Mice and Mystics in with that. The gameplay itself kind of, so-so, and eventually it gets repetitive and things like that. Yeah, it's more about the story, the experience behind it, than it is, really intuitive brain burner gameplay. So, I understand that. I don't have a problem with it personally. I just know that's been a large criticism that's always come out is, it's really swingy, and, the game is always stacked against this. Yeah. You're wrong. No.
Hey, if you don't have a dumb game every once in a while. No.
Yeah.
No,
or a dumb shark.
There's situational strategy, and then there's I know how to attack this before I even open the box.
Yeah.
And I think situational awareness is something that this definitely displays.
Yeah, and it's definitely, I think, almost better because you show that you can think on your feet and strategize within that versus, I've played this game 100 times, it always operates exactly the same, so I make minute, small changes to the way that I play.
Monopoly. Sorry.
Man, we were really dogging on that today.
I hate Monopoly.
I actually really like Monopoly, but I don't want to play it.
I don't like the length of Monopoly.
I just feel like sometimes, I like all the games, so I have to bring up the ones I hate sometimes.
That was a mild criticism of our show, is that everyone thinks that we like every single game, and then obviously don't like Monopoly as much. James absolutely detests Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
So now we just got to find Dennis's hated.
What do you hate, Dennis?
What do you hate, Dennis? Man, I'm gonna have to think on that. I'm gonna have to think on that one because nothing specific came to mind other than Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Is it?
It's one of those obscure titles, but it was just absolute garbage.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, wait. I have ragged on Mighty Number 9 in the past.
Oh, you did.
That was the spiritual successor to Mega Man. That was just crap, and I couldn't turn off the terrible voice acting.
Yeah, no, you did complain about that one.
Yeah.
I've brought it up a couple of times.
So Dennis has not picked his least favorite board game yet, just his least favorite.
I haven't found one yet.
That you didn't
honestly.
like.
Yeah. I mean, because the whole start of this show, you guys have been introducing me to so many games.
I've got a game. I've got a type of game. I hate trivia games. That's
I love
just
trivia.
like Monopoly, where they take everything and everything. They're like, oh, we have this cool... I remember I was so excited. They're like, we have a Golden Girls game. And I was like, cool, that's going to be awesome. And it was a stupid trivia game.
It's kind of one of those things, like, and I kind of agree with you in so much as that, like, I have, if you look to your left.
I'm looking to my right.
I'm looking to my right.
My left.
You're right,
James's
my left. There's the Star Trek The Game up on the top of the shelf there that my sister got for me from a thrift store, which is awesome. I will never play that game for a number of reasons. One of which being, I know a lot about the original series of Star Trek because I've seen every episode 3, 4, 5 times. And so I'm relatively familiar with it. I might play this with my brother because he's seen them all that many times, so he might know.
Okay.
But your average person who, even if they're a fan of Star Trek, probably is not that in-depth on that specific series.
Well, and didn't you say there was even things that you were...
There was even things I was like, I have no idea what this... It's like, what color was his shirt when he was on X planet fighting X, thing, and I'm like, oh.
Did he die?
I can tell.
He was red.
Yeah,
It was red.
Yeah.
I can tell you all about Cookie the alien.
Oh God, Cookie, that's your favorite Star Trek character
It's
ever.
my favorite Star Trek.
It was one of the very first aliens they encountered, and it was just this dog that they put like little
It was like
alien
little dinosaur
things,
spine
yeah,
pokies
little
on.
spines off the dog, and you could clearly tell it's just a dog
Or
with little
dog
spines.
dressed up.
Oh, you've got.
And I think it barked one time too, didn't it?
I don't know.
I mean, you're gonna hate me because I'm definitely more of a Voyager guy.
Hey, that's okay. You know what?
But
We were
that's
actually
'cause that's what I was exposed
We're
to.
working
we are
our way
actually
through
working our way
Voyager.
through Voyager at the moment. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the one. The whole plot synopsis of the entire series. The ship is lost.
You know.
well,
I don't. Okay.
there's lots of good material out there.
There's
that
some
always
good
has
material. I
Bad
hated the
endings.
ending. Hated the ending.
Sometimes you just got to say, no, that series never ended. Like
This is
dinosaurs.
the
we were
Like
talking
dinosaurs.
about.
Yeah, we were talking
about
about
that off the
dinosaurs.
air. Yeah.
The Ice Age never happened. It's a myth.
Exactly.
Myth.
It's made up to
Yes.
scare you, like Michael Jackson.
So you were mentioning, is there a Scooby-Doo board game?
I know that there is
In
a
the same vein?
Scooby-Doo RPG, and I
That would be
believe that there was a fan-made, not expansion, but overlay that you could use for this game for Betrayal. That was Scooby-Doo. They had some scenarios and then new character cards that had Scooby and Shaggy and stuff like that. I have seen that.
I think
Oh, that could be so cool.
That would be amazing to have
Yep.
that theming.
You just gotta have the mystery machine parked out front.
I can find that quite easily. Get one of those little Hot Wheels
Well,
ones.
and
just got
you'd have
parked.
to add a whole trap system.
Oh, I'm
The whole-
sure they had cards
yeah.
that they added in. I'll try and find it and I'll send it to you guys. It was actually really interesting. I was
Okay.
pretty excited about it. I was
Yeah,
like, I kind of want
look-see.
this. But yeah, so there was that.
That's everyday spooky, not spooky. spooky.
Kind of tied in with that. As of this recording a few days ago, Wendy's of all people released a tabletop game that's similar to D&D, where you're on a quest to defeat Ronald McDonald.
Was this your hot and juicy take?
Yes.
You need some
Hot and
juicy take.
No, I'm doing. Yeah, now, what I really want is I want the Arby's expansion because I want some kind of power that's just we have the meats. I don't know what this power does. I just want that as a thing.
But the whole premise is that they're combating the forces of frozen beef. So does Arby's use fresh meat?
Probably
Well,
not. I mean, it's squared patties.
Look, they say
Arby's?
that.
No,
No,
Oh,
Wendy's
nope,
uses-
sorry.
Wait, you're thinking of Wendy's.
Wendy's.
Wendy's uses fresh, never frozen. That's
Fresh,
the whole
never
thing.
frozen. Yep, that's their
look,
spiel.
Arby's called their
And
fish
Archer does
sandwich
their-
ocean meat.
Oh, good.
Archer
It's a
and
crab
Bob's
salad,
from Bob's Burgers.
but it's
is
not
their
crab.
sponsor now.
Well, that was the whole. You can't.
But get all the fast food restaurants in on this.
That was when you couldn't call Taco Bell tacos ground beef because they didn't have enough beef content.
Yeah,
That's
it was
right,
like
it was
the whole
60%
war.
soy or something like that.
Yeah.
Soy or horse. They
That's
weren't sure.
well. That's why I always refer to Taco Bell when I go
Let's-
there. Oh, I'm going to get some health food.
Let's just say I'm not I'm a little afraid to eat Taco Bell. Sometimes their beef because once we were going on a trip and we were stopping to get food and we got Lucy her own little like cup of beef and not eat. Lucy, the dog that is like a goat and will eat anything, refused to eat it. So
She's like, nah, dog.
she's like, yeah, no,
I'm
I'm
not getting into that.
That's poison.
Here's something that you need to do. We can even throw this in with the Wendy's tabletop. Have the school food expansion. See if Lucy will eat the school food.
Well, now it'll just put her into a diabetic coma. But
Ugh, it's all the
Poor
preservatives.
doggy.
Back in the day, we had those fresh hot pizzas, and
oh yeah, those are great.
My
They found a way
favorite-
to mess it up.
My favorite
Oh.
was when they cut the hot dog in half and put mashed potatoes on it and called it potato boat.
This is the Idaho school system. This is not ours.
It was amazing.
Idaho has better cafeterias than we do.
Yeah.
Our pizza was actually made in the cafeteria.
Ours was shipped in from some unknown
Somewhere
location.
back east. But yeah.
Fresh, never frozen
Well,
pizza.
I mean, did you say Idaho?
Idaho, yeah.
So the potatoes are probably fresh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you had fresh
Yeah.
potatoes.
Yeah.
We put potatoes on everything.
Maybe that's
there,
what it
you
was.
know?
They're like, oh man, we got all these potatoes and we can't sell them because there's so many. So they're like, let's give them to the kids.
These ones are growing things.
Pretty
out of
much.
them, and they've already done every science project with potatoes. What are we gonna do?
Well,
Make vodka.
vodka.
That's what they did in the prison system.
Oh,
Is there an Idaho vodka?
Is there?
Probably not.
There should be.
There
I
probably
mean,
is.
Why not?
I don't know.
There's a Nevada vodka.
Tahoe
Well,
Blue.
Tahoe Blue.
There's that one, but I thought
And
there's a couple
You
others
guys have
too.
your own beer, the Ichthyosaurus.
Ichthyosaurus.
Ichthyosaurus?
Yeah.
We have a couple of breweries. We're starting to get some wineries opening up too.
I saw that.
Yeah, we've got the local pub, the Glass Die, that I still need to check out.
I know you need to get over there.
I
So
mean,
do I.
It looks really
I'm
cool.
a terrible person.
It looks like an old school tavern.
I've been there
like
several
fantasy.
times. And
Did you like it?
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Because they've got how many games do they have? Do
They
you
have
know?
a lot.
This is a local
Lot.
board game pub.
So, Jim's has, 4 shelves here? As if 4 normal bookcase-sized shelves.
Something like that.
I'd say about that.
They've got probably triple what James has out.
Whoa.
And they're always rotating everything. Everything is also laid out by player count.
Woof.
James isn't allowed to go there.
So you
'cause
walk in with your
he's gonna
group.
get ideas.
You walk in with your group and you're able to just walk up and go, okay, we have 4 players. Let's grab something off the
That's
4-player
so
rack.
cool.
Man, I'm sorry. We're
great
going
idea.
floor-to-ceiling shelves in here.
Yeah, well,
So-
theirs
I've
are
been
pretty much
asking you if you were
floor-to-ceiling,
gonna do that.
Another
We're
Another
doing the
level
floor
up.
to ceiling, and then we're doing the staircase, the spiral staircase down into the.
Yeah, we're going to dig
like
out
a
underneath
slider.
our house.
Just the whole crawl space will be.
Well,
filled
what's
with
right
board
above you?
games.
Because you have 2
That's
stories.
your bedroom,
That
isn't
would
it?
be... No.
That'd be Penny's bathroom, I
That's
think.
Penny's bathroom. Yeah, I think her
Yeah.
bathroom. No?
Everyone watch
that's Penny's
James.
bathroom, and then that would be Penny's room.
Ah, okay.
No,
And then
that's
Penny's
our
room
oh,
is
yeah,
The
starts
bathroom's
like right
not directly
there.
above
My
the
God,
bathroom.
See, we're
No,
playing Betrayal
actually,
in
no.
real life because we're changing the layout of James and Amanda's house.
Because our bathroom is over in that corner. Hers would be here, and then this one's here.
I mean, you,
You
got the
could
whole
go the
front
other
room.
way with the house on Betrayal. You could go with just doing an architecture game
kind of like...
where you build out
Remodeling your house.
your random house.
will be like Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
I got it. It's an
Oh, there you go.
That's a good one.
HGTV
Yeah,
Board
where
game.
where the person
Oh.
sharpens pencils for a living, but they're looking for $1 million house, and they walk into this gorgeous kitchen, and they're like, "This is too small."
I'm a premium dog walker.
With a budget of $7, what are they going to get? No, you
No.
can't have a beach house.
I need to know how much a premium dog walker makes as compared to a regular dog walker.
I don't
if you
know
lived
if
in
that'll
LA
get you
and you
more
were like
games.
a famous, like a celebrity dog walker, maybe you could make some money.
Well, and think of the expansion packs. You got to think you could have the My Best Backyard or whatever that show was. Where they
Tiny
just-
houses.
Tiny,
Tiny
yeah, your
houses.
tiny house expansion.
So somebody could develop a whole lot of tiny houses.
Now would this be like strictly
Gentrification.
cards, or are we talking like we're literally building stuff?
Oh, are we gonna make it a dexterity game?
Oh my
Or a
God,
combo
where you-
dexterity game?
where you
Or
have to,
Combo
like,
dexterity, yeah.
so
I don't
you-
know if Dennis should play this after playing Men at Work. I don't think he's got the skills to do it.
Oh, I don't have the
Aw.
skills.
It's going to collapse and kill a whole family.
You'd have to have the you'd have to have the homesteader expansion,
Bathtub
Yes.
falls through the ground.
Oh, good lord.
where you have to battle city
There's
ordinances
a reason
to
why
keep
I'm not
chickens.
a contractor.
Yeah, same here.
Hey, I keep our school relatively fixed.
What's fixed is as long as good enough for government, right?
Yeah, I work for the government.
He does
so
work
it's
for
good
the
enough.
government, so that is work.
Close enough for the
Yeah.
but that is work.
So
Oh.
before we
You've
go,
been validated.
So-
Your whole
so we've
job
gone,
is
we're
validated.
gone
going
way off the deep end.
Oh, good.
So, anyways, House of Betrayal or Betrayal of Hill House.
Whoa, betrayal,
House of Betrayal on the
Mansion.
Hill,
MD.
Part 2. The Revengeing. I don't know.
Back to the house
Man,
foundations.
Man,
I have completely
can you
butchered
tell
that
me
title.
what you think of Betrayal House on the Hill?
Well, I think I've already said it. It's my like one of my favorite games, and I love it. And I think that it's a great spooky game or year round.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dennis, what do you got?
I'm going to figure out how to write a scenario, and I'm going to turn it into a cartoon.
Sweet.
You get sucked into Toon World.
Like Roger Rabbit's running around in the house.
Yes.
Oh
But he's
that.
like, but this is like evil Roger Rabbit.
God.
I miss that 1980s everything is okay attitude.
No kidding.
After watching Stranger Things, I'm kind of nostalgic for the 80s. You know, like the arcades and the pizza joint, riding your bike, occasionally fighting monsters from another dimension.
That's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
you know, typical stuff we did in the 80s.
I've been watching Third Rock from the Sun lately, and I'm just like, wow, you could not get away with half of the stuff that they make jokes about anymore.
That's true.
Slight side note on that: the episode where they bring in William Shatner and
Yeah,
he's
we
getting
just
off
watched
the
that one the other day.
He's getting off the plane and
Yeah.
he's like, "It's strange. I saw something on the wing.
It was so
Strange,
good.
it happened to me too.
Yeah, with John Lithgow.
Yeah,
That was
because
so good.
He was in the reboot of it.
John Lithgow was in the movie version of
Yeah,
Twilight
that's what it
Zone,
was.
and William Shatner was in the original episode with the gremlin on the wing, back in '60s, I think it was.
60s.
Yeah, I just love the
50s,
little
60s.
tie-ins to that.
Yeah, no, it was great. So just a couple little notes on Betrayal. The couple of things that need mentioning. First off, there is a legacy version of Betrayal that came out, and you play through 12 different haunts, I believe it is, and
All at once.
no, well,
Can we
you
do
can.
this?
You can. And at the end of it, to my knowledge, you end up with a playable version of Betrayal. But basically, the story is...
It's unplayable unless you beat all.
Well,
12.
no. I mean,
Okay.
it resembles if you went and just bought Betrayal itself
Okay.
off the shelf. Saying that you can continue to play it, because most legacy games, it's once.
It's one and done.
One and done.
I was going to say any game's a legacy game if you lose the pieces.
I haven't done that yet. But...
You have small children. Give it time.
Oh, God, no. No, I'm just going to karate chop hands. Just...
Was it the legacy of Pandemic that you got that was a
Pandemic
knockoff?
Legacy. Pandemic Legacy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we
Knockoff?
talked about that. The bootlegger.
Yeah, I had a bootleg copy of it. Yep.
And
It was funny because I didn't really...
Nothing ever came of
I
it.
didn't notice at all. Like, it wasn't a thing that even crossed my mind until I was on Reddit and I saw someone had posted. I think I got a generic or non-real copy of it, and I started looking at all the pictures that person put versus the pieces that I had, and I said, "Oh crap, so do I."
Is someone...
I mean, that's bootlegging is bad, but did you get a good discount?
No,
It was a
it was
Christmas
a
gift.
Christmas gift, and the person that gifted it to me basically had a couple months long fight with the person that sent it, and they're like, basically he had to go to Amazon, and Amazon just credited his account, and he sent it back to Amazon, and they...
Oh, I was
going to
ask if you got to keep it.
No, they took it back. But
Oh, did you play it first?
no.
Dang.
We should have.
But anyway, so you play through the story of the house, basically, is what the story is in the Betrayal one, or the family that lives in the house. So that's interesting. And then, what's the... Oh, and
Is
I
it
wanna
like
play
Cabin in the Woods where you can like pick the different scenarios where like they're like a redneck zombie family or
I
Sawhead?
don't know.
What
actually.
was that one we watched that was the reverse horror movie where the two guys, the teenagers thought they were trying to
That
kill
Eric versus
Tucker and
Dale.
Dale.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Tucker and Dale.
gosh.
Oh, that's such a great one.
The other thing I was going to say is if you're a big D&D fan, there is a Baldur's Gate version of Betrayal.
Oh, really?
Plays exactly the same, just Baldur's Gate and not spooky
God, that's been a long time since I played
Or
Baldur's
hellish.
Gate.
or hellish.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've heard it's just as good. So if
Didn't
that's
that-
more your thing.
Just get released and kind of with the
Um,
Avernus stuff.
No, it's a couple years ago, like
Okay.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
maybe
following
3.
that vein, you could even do Diablo.
Diablo.
Yeah.
I really need them
Diablo
to
just
release
contained to a house.
Diablo 1 on the Switch.
Yeah.
I know they have Diablo 3, and I have that, but I need Diablo 1.
I liked 2 better.
Well, 2 was also
personally.
good. 1 was different, though, because 1 was like the very definition of a dungeon crawl, whereas 2 was more an adventure.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
I'm getting
randomly
off track.
Okay, so
I'm
anyways,
getting off
As
track.
always.
Why are you letting me get off track?
because
Go
that's
play
what we
Betrayal.
Wait,
It's
I thought you were
spooky.
in charge of the trolley here.
because
No,
because
I'm
we are
driving the
Ramblers
trolley to the
Anonymous.
river.
Rambling Anonymous.
So,
Speaking of rivers,
so you may all be wondering
speaking of carts,
why Nathan is here today, and
I'm not.
well, these two aren't, but and I don't think Nathan is, but
what?
Thought we would have him on the show.
oh, he just
This is news to him.
He won a raffle. He didn't know he won the raffle, but he won the
We
raffle.
were like, you're here all the time quietly being creepy, so you might
so you might as well
talk
just
this
talk.
time.
No,
To be fair, you guys only had 3 mics.
that's true. Well, now we're a 4 mic operation. We're like the 4 camera guy on the bass slapping
That
YouTube
Mike
videos.
A, Mike B, Mike C, and Mike D.
It's Mikey D.
I'm Mike.
So
So
Nathan
I
is-
get no respect.
So Nathan is here today because Nathan is currently finalizing
Close.
a really fun game,
I'm in the last 5 to 10% of the game.
and he's going to tell us about it. And we've done some play testing with him on 2 occasions, at least for me.
I think. Did we post pictures?
did.
Yeah,
We
we
did
did.
one.
I don't remember.
I think we took some. I don't know if we posted them yet. I think we're kind of delay.
That's right. We were being
We're waiting
all
for
hush-hush
permission.
about that.
Yeah, we've been waiting for like permission and to get to this recording.
So,
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're gonna talk to Nathan about his game, Pass the Poison.
Well, okay. So let's do that.
Yeah. So tell us about your game.
Well, Pass the Poison came to me in a dream or a fugue state when I was not sleeping. Basically, I thought of some of the mechanics of, hey, a game based on poison where if you had antidotes and immunity and different type of characters that would have different levels of that, what kind of idea that would look like. So I had, the pluses being antidotes and the minuses being poisons, and then I woke up and went, you know what, this sounds like it could be fun. And then I started putting it together. I actually spent $10 at the dollar store to get pieces and started putting things.
Prototyping.
Yeah,
I have to say, your prototype was actually pretty impressive.
To be fair, I had no idea what I was doing, so
You
That's
did great.
okay. Everyone's got to start somewhere.
oh, we're somewhere. I gotta get there.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about how the game plays?
Yeah, it's right now we have 2 to 6 players. I've tested up to 6. We have a 2-player variant. I think we were timing it right about 30 minutes, 40 minutes at the most. And the game, everybody has their own side deck. They all have a character card that has immunities and antidotes and health points. A later addition to the game was giving the players powers, some sort of influence that they could exert on the board.
Very useful.
The world is
saved my life a lot.
everybody walks up to have a nice friendly drink, and by friendly I mean a poisonous battle royale where there is only one survivor, and that is your goal, is to survive by dishing out poison and serving yourself antidotes as you go around the table and battle your best friends or enemies, whatever they are.
Frenemies.
Frenemies?
Yes.
So right now we're going with kind of a fantasy theme, and I hope that we right now it has a very Middle Ages vibe because I like that era. And
Yeah. And I think it works with the concept of the game. Everyone's sitting around having a drink, and
The characters are kind of. I don't know. Did you keep the witch in there?
yeah, we kept the witch in. We
Amanda
nerfed
liked
her
the
power because
you're a witch.
part of playtesting, you got to find out what
Not a witch
what
in
is
my life.
broken when Amanda does it.
Gosh, no kidding.
I'm really good at finding broken stuff.
Yes. Yes, you are.
So what are all the characters you have right now? You have the witch. You have
We have
Jester.
the witch. We have the performer. We have a doctor.
Doctor, wasn't
We
there a
have-
king?
Yeah, we have a royal.
Royal,
So I'm not
yep.
sure if we're going with king or if
Oh,
we're going to go
royal.
with different
Sorry.
art. Gosh, so we had.
putting you on the spot now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's in the other room. I could go grab it, but what kind of fun would that be? We have the people, which may or may not make it into the final version.
Is that supposed to be like just the run-of-the-mill settler, or not settler, but peasant sort of thing?
Yeah, that's the peasant, and the special ability for the people, and maybe now I have to include it, is that they regenerate lives as if they were never there. So
Okay.
you just sweep the old body under the rug.
They're expendable. There you go.
Ah, the red shirts.
Well, the people have the power. Let's see. So we have a Sawbones type character, which being like
right?
a field medic.
Yeah.
So we'll decide on what the name actually is for that. Have a barbarian who is completely, totally health, no immunity, and
Isn't that who you played when we did?
I did play it. I know for sure I played it when we were doing the 2-player test play. I don't remember. I might have played them.
I want to say that you did.
I might have.
What was the one you played our first game?
That I just immediately
That you
died.
died.
But you died super quick.
you were a jester, or
No, I was the jester.
He was the jester.
I was the witch.
I think it was the royal, actually.
you might have been the royal.
And I think I just it was
you
a
didn't
very
know your ability yet.
I didn't know my ability, and it was a very unfortunate situation.
It's not like everybody tried to kill you. Oh wait, that's
no,
the point of the game.
No, they did.
And then I just kept the game going, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, let it be over."
Why won't you die?
Well, that's because the witch's ability is to give everybody antidotes, and so when everybody has antidotes, nobody dies.
Nobody dies.
I just didn't give him out fast enough for James.
And then
Sorry, James.
Yeah, late game, you just shined with that.
we have a fighter.
Oh, that's right, the fighter.
We have another type of warrior too.
Yeah.
And so they all have varying degrees of health versus their ability versus their immunity. There's also the sorcerer who has 1 health, typical glass cannon, but has a bunch of immunity. So
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the design? Can you tell us a little bit about the design process that you went through? From your initial iteration through where you are now.
yeah, so originally it was a bunch of pieces of paper that I got stickers and actually I started making it with just a bunch of pieces of paper to test the mechanic. Just a pieces of scrap paper. And I would do a little red X or a little green X or a little blue X. And so I would just see, hey, if this person had these and they gave them to the other one, how would that roll out? And then I upgraded to a deck of trivia cards for a very popular game show in America. And some booster pack sleeves and some stickers that I then put those red and green and blue X's to stand for the different things. And so then I put those on those cards, put them in card sleeves, and little did I realize at the time, because I didn't do my research until afterwards, that's how a lot of games get made, is people come up with some sort of mechanic, and then they start slapping cards together. And
So you're a natural. You just did it.
So what what did you have to go through to determine like how many of percentage of X cards, percentage of Y cards, to make up the mix that fell right? Obviously, I'm sure you did play testing, but what was your initial setup, and maybe even how bad was it at first versus now where it's a lot more refined?
Oh, it was terrible at first. Basically, at first, I gave everybody a neutral card. And so when you were playing, you weren't getting antidotes or poison cards to give to anybody. You were just neutral, neutral, neutral. And so nothing was happening in the game.
Yeah.
Well, and the neutral is basically like represents like water.
Yeah,
And-
water
and
or
then the
wash
X factor
or
just...
alcohol. Early on, we were thinking tonics and tinctures, which a tincture is something dissolved in alcohol. But I leaned away from that
powder.
because watched that last night.
Such a good movie. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I leaned away from that a little bit, away from the wine, because I was like, well, this is a game that everybody should be able to play, and I play it with my 7-year-old daughter.
Sure.
At the time. So it was terrible. Nothing happened each round. And then I went, nah, that can't happen. And now it is super deadly.
Yeah.
You get poisoned. You get poison in your cup every round. One of the things I definitely love, I don't know if you guys appreciated it, was when everybody goes at the same time. You're drawing all your cup, all your drinks, all your poison antidotes, and then you distribute those to people around the table each turn. So everybody is doing that simultaneously. It's very difficult to keep track of who's messing with who.
And it's not just like you can only target the person to your right or to your left. You can target anyone around the table.
Yeah, and you have to, give everyone a card each turn, so they have no idea who is and who is not poisoning them over and over and over again, which is great.
You can guess, but...
Well,
I think one of the most surprising things is when you show up and you haven't given yourself an antidote because you didn't have one, and somebody else has given you an antidote.
You get really
surprising. You get a little.
Sometimes you have no choice.
You're like, well, thank you, I guess.
Well, and as I recall from some of the playtesting, some of the time, especially when we were doing the 2-player testing, that it was with the player powers that there was, some of them, and I'll let you go over this in a second, you can switch cups with people or spill cups or things like that. Those are your powers. And I know there was a situation where I had a bunch of antidotes and a bunch of poisons, And I said, you know what I'm going to do? Because he's going to give himself something good, so I'm going to give him antidotes. So I gave you all of the antidotes, and I kept all the poisons myself, and then I did my player power, which switched the cup. And then you did something that completely ruined it anyway. But the plan was sound in my mind, and it would have worked.
Yeah, so the powers and then also toast cards are just power cards that you can play that change the game. So instead of everybody just serving out their drinks and then taking a drink and seeing where the chips lie, you definitely get to mess with each other or have your plan, and it doesn't always work out.
Sure.
But I like that you can feel powerful for a moment or think ahead, and that it can quickly go your way or quickly get derailed.
A little bit of strategy in there. Go ahead, man.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of strategy in there, but it could, like you said, you could get thrown off and be like, oh man, I have the best plan ever, and think that you're great, and then just get knocked off your horse.
Oh yeah, the pace can be super quick.
Yep, and that's one I think the great things about the game when you invited us to play test it and we got to play. It was pretty great in my mind because it is a quick game, which is great because I tend to play a lot of long games, and I know everyone I play with gets annoyed because they're like, I got to play another long game.
Thanks.
But still has enough strategy in it that I have to actually, engage. It's not just something where I'm just dropping cards. So that was fun for me, that I'm still getting to do something pretty strategic, trying to think ahead. But also, I think ahead, and then, like you did in our 2-player, just demolished everything I had set up, and I'm like, no!
Well, and everything works well. The theme, the pace, the characters. I just liked how it all came together.
It's kind of Shakespearean in a way.
Sure.
With the way that, which one is it? Hamlet?
Where everybody dies?
Where everybody dies. Yeah.
And et tu, Brute, how dare you stab me?
Well, and the cool thing,
You're
the
not
cool thing
stabbing
is as you
Caesar.
were saying that, with the wine and everything, the cool thing is this would be something to be fun. You could also do different themes with. Like, I don't know, I was just thinking it'd be funny to do a prom and spiking a punch bowl or something.
Very Carrie-esque.
Yeah, you could...
Everybody dies at the prom. Super
Everybody's dying.
happy there.
How was your prom? Everybody died.
The cult expansion, where it's Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah. Jamestown's going to be very popular. I'll have to call it Jimmy's Town or something.
Jimmy's
Yeah.
Town.
Although, then you get into euphemisms. See, we're going to have to think about it, workshop it.
Yes.
What I do love is that I have died as every character I have played. I have won a couple games, but in the most part, even if I had all the strategies laid out in my mind, I couldn't just beat you.
Oh, sure. There's enough variability that it's not something that you can just go and play over and over again until you've memorized every possible outcome.
Let's just
No.
say that Nathan made the game, yet you can play with him, and he's not going to win all the time and make.
He's not going to wipe the
There's
floor
no
with you.
unfair advantage or anything in this game.
No, unlike being a shark, playing this is not supernatural for me.
Unless you're the witch.
So the witch has since been nerfed because it was a playtest. So we're still doing a couple things playtesting to figure out
Minor
how
tweaks here and
components are
there.
going to lie. And
I personally loved the character, but
Well, that's because you were winning.
But I didn't.
Amanda
I
wants
think I
a-
lost, didn't
I think you did
you
ultimately.
didn't
ended
win
up
in the
with-
end.
I
but
didn't win.
You made
see?
us all wish for death, and isn't that a win?
Yes. I think Amanda wants like a pre-release copy with like
Just
the
with the
original
witch. The original witch. The
Yeah.
non-nerfed. And that's hers. It just says Manda, the witch.
Amanda the witch. My wife,
The original's
the
already
witch.
been.
It's gone. It's gone forever.
Dang it.
So, do you have any planned expansions at this point? I know, the base game hasn't even come out, but obviously there is clearly room for future expansions.
Yeah. Right now we have kind of that medieval fantasy. Most people are human. We'll see how the art comes out. Because it's not really super important, except for just to
Visually.
visually and to get people into the game, which I hope the game does well too. Is sucks you in. It just doesn't let you go. And even when you died, James, you had to play as a
ghost.
A ghost. The ghost.
So there is that also another mechanic that you've thrown in, so that even though you may be out and you can't win, but you can still influence the game, which I think is a great thing.
Yep. It's not king making in that aspect, but you still have an impact and are still involved. And with as short as the game is, you don't get to the point where you're just like, oh man, I gotta keep playing. It's nothing like that. It's still like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna do this to this person this turn. I'm gonna do this to this person this turn, and
somebody suggested ramping that up as to do more poltergeist type situations.
There you go.
Like, well, maybe we'll look at that, see if it makes it in.
Some kind of player power where you're better off
ghost
as a ghost.
power. Yeah, the ghost power.
Yeah, we'll do the Casper character. You
There
die
you
on
go.
the first round no matter what.
Yeah.
And so that could be an expansion. I have thought about going high fantasy, getting some dragonborn
Sure.
and trolls and
yeah.
orcs and
Yeah.
other type of players in there.
Yeah.
I think that's where it'll go. I also have thought about it being, kind of doing a 1920s noir take.
Oh,
That'd be cool too.
like Prohibition.
Maybe I was thinking more spies, and that'd be why you were trying to kill
Espionage.
everybody at the
Old
table.
black and white detectives.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That'd be cool. I like that.
So everybody has a reason to kill each other.
Everybody always has a reason to kill each other. Let's
Well,
be fair.
Yes.
That's
the
kind of
2019
terrifying.
version would be everybody has anxiety and thinks that other people are going to kill them.
Oh Lord.
Everyone's paranoid.
So I'd love to see more of those. I just got to plan them out.
Sure.
And if you guys have a suggestion, you can always send it to me.
Oh yeah, we can. We'll be more than happy to help.
Yeah.
As you can see, we love, to make up our own scenarios of games all the time.
Well, even those people out there listening to this.
All the listeners.
Yes.
Send emails to Nathan or us.
Oh, well,
whoever.
Yeah.
Send them to RA, to Rulebooks Anonymous.
Rulebooks Anonymous NV@yahoo.com.
Yep.
Yes, I am that cheap.
We do have an email.
We have an email address that has not been utilized very well.
No,
As far as I know, there's only an NV and no other states.
we just need to.
No. It's just because of Nevada. It's not
So-
because you're envious of us.
So
right now we have. I'm only at Facebook for Pass the Poison.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, we should send that link.
And we
over
will
at
Yeah, we
Rulebooks
can
post the link when
share
when
the
this
link
airs.
out there. Yep.
Yeah, we'll share it all together. It'll
All
be
the
a
sharing.
conspiracy
Yes.
of sharing.
Lots of sharing.
Yes.
So, are you planning on kickstarting this game or self-funding or?
So definitely, I'm going to need to kickstart it. Have you ever looked at how much it costs to print anything?
I'm vaguely familiar, and it's not cheap.
That was actually going to be my next question. Was what kind of costs are you looking at if you're willing to share that?
Yeah. So it's so weird and variable because a lot of games, if people don't know, are made over in China and then shipped to the States. Surprise.
Darn it.
Because most of our manufacturing have gone that way. And so I'm in the process right now of getting quotes so that I know what I'm doing that way. So both shipping and manufacturing are wild cards, if you would.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have a teacher discount at Office Max.
Oh, I think we
Just
could
buy a
get the
bunch of
game down to
cardstock.
$70 a copy.
Sorry.
No. I appreciate it. Anything helps. I looked at a locally another podcast that I listened to is Design Doc. I just dropped them there because they've made a game called Good Dog Bad Zombie that I need to play more.
We'll do them a solid. They can do us a solid.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But they
Drop our
there's
name,
a
please.
but they did a printer in Chicago that I'm looking at, and I think the base game with the materials that we would do is about $15 a copy if you
Okay.
print 2,000 copies.
Sure.
Ooh.
So we need at least, let's see, we need 1,900, we'll say 95 of you to pre-order a copy. And
Yeah,
we'll take care of the other 5 between the 4 of us.
The math works out a little bit different because you'd obviously have a little bit of markup, 20
Sure.
or 25%,
Yeah.
or whatever. But shipping all those wonderful games to places takes a huge chunk of it. So if you are shipping to the United States and you happen to have a warehouse in the United States, shipping could be pretty affordable. But if all of a sudden you ship from the U.S. to, I don't know,
Canada.
Australia
Oh,
or Canada.
Yeah,
Australia.
Australia for sure is
you're
going to
gonna be raking up
costly.
some costs. So there's also fulfillers, people that will have their warehouse and they can do drop shipping for you.
okay.
So that's a lot. There's a whole bunch there that we could run around with, but it's complicated, and so we'll need to figure that out. But my hope is that I bet this hits the table at about $25-$30.
Sure.
That
And
shouldn't
you
be
are
too
thinking something Kickstarter-ish or
Yeah.
in that realm. Any idea when we might be seeing that? Even just like Q1, Q2 of X year?
I would love to try to get it out 2020 first quarter.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
The Kickstarter itself or the game
The
itself?
Kickstarter.
Okay, sure.
And then the
And
game,
later the
shortly
year.
after that.
Yeah.
You got our support.
Yep.
Yay.
We're there.
Well, and once the Kickstarter starts, we'll be more than happy to share that around and try
Yep.
to get you as
Push
many,
that.
push that out as much as we
We need to
possibly
get you guys
can.
on the mailing list here. You're gonna. Are you? No.
Yep. Write it down. Write that down.
Yes.
Sweet. Well, that sounds awesome. It's been, at least for me, I'm assuming for the other two here as well, extremely exciting being able to play test that, and
Yeah.
especially since it was a fun game.
Well, and how many people get that opportunity?
Right.
I mean,
Exactly. It was.
yeah, so
really-
thank you very much for that
Yeah, thank you
opportunity.
for letting us play it.
Well, thanks for playing it and telling me how awful certain parts were, so I could fix them.
Well, constructive criticism is important, and one of the things I would ask you is, are there times where it's hard to keep going with trying to design this, like times where you feel like, man, I can't do this, or I'm so close on this, but I don't know how to do it?
I think definitely the playing over and over and over for myself, you get very much sucked into your reality and perception of it.
Okay.
So having outside feedback is great, but it's also really stressful to go, okay, the people that are playing may not everybody thinks, oh, they're going to be too harsh. But in my case, it's not. It's hey, I want you to tell me something that's broken so I can fix it. I'm very much a problem solver in my day-to-day. And so, for example, play testing with James on the two-person variants, our major problem was that too many things worked well.
Yeah. that was literally the problem. Is we were like, okay, well, let's try it this way, and let's try it this way. And every single way, for the most part, it worked or it pretty much worked. And it's like, well, we got to get rid of one of these styles of play and stick to something.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, the hard part. And no, it was definitely, I
imagine
sympathize with you.
I'd imagine the multiplayer versus like the two-player would be one of the more difficult aspects of it.
And I thought that it would be kind of ready to hit the table with two-player, and then I actually did some play testing, and people were like, no, it doesn't have the limitations that a multiple-player game does, because you burn through a little bit, even if you knock that third player out early. You burn through a little bit of what makes the game go. So that was one of the realizations I had to come to. Oh no, I need to create a two-player version, or at least a couple rules to go with it. And that would make it more fun for just two people to hang out.
Yep. Okay. Well, it's important, and having a supportive base when you're creating this game I think is also very important. Be it family, friends, people that are willing to give you constructive criticism and not just be overt jerks about it. Because I hang out far too much on Twitter now, which is just a terrible, terrible place. And one of the people that I follow is a guy from Team 4-Star named Kieran that is also in the process of trying to design his own game. And it sounds like he's going through a rough patch where people have just been trashing him and everything. And it's like, leave the guy alone. He's working hard on a game for people to have fun and be entertained.
Yeah.
If you've got a constructive comment, by all means, but if you're going to be a jerk about it, then keep it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lost art form, is how to give constructive criticism, or even to have like the basis of or the knowledge to be like, hey, this is what I would change, and these are the reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy to look at a game and go, oh, that was good or bad, and it doesn't, and then
Not give a reason
just
as
not
to why.
know
Yeah.
why, not be able to
Sometimes-
articulate it.
Sometimes your vision for the game might not be the same as the person who created it, and you can't. They had a goal in mind that they wanted to work with, and just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Yep.
Or
I think your dog
being
is trying to
stinky.
kill me.
Dennis is trying to not die currently.
Dennis is in the best seat for his condition because he coughs away from the mic to save you lovely folks out there, and
then inhales the dog.
Yeah,
Fragrance.
you guys don't need to hear the sound of my lungs dying. So
No,
Poor
it's
guy.
been a lot of fun learning, and yeah, there's different visions. Unfortunately, mine was like, oh, I need to make a game because it's stuck in my head. I got to get it out, and I'm one of those people that unfortunately starts some projects and then goes, oh, well, I'll do something else now that the kinks are worked out. So
But
having
you've
some
been
accountability.
sticking to this.
Yeah, he's gonna keep pushing through. No,
Well, now you're on the podcast.
Yeah,
and you're
thanks.
stuck.
now you're invested because you can't go back.
nope.
Now I know that
Because
that
we have
Dennis
a
was
lot
just
of
fishing
listeners.
for compliments. Thanks, guys, for supporting me and being out there. Now you're stuck with that too.
Yes.
Dang it. Now we're known as supportive people.
Aww.
Look, I already committed us to bonus level stuff that I still have to work
Yeah,
with the kinks
you better
on.
record some of that.
I haven't found the
We're gonna
right
do
music
some like
for
quick bite episodes,
supplemental
like little things.
Oh
episodes.
yeah, well that
Little 5-10
I
minute
told
things.
him when the Wendy's thing came out, the Wendy's RPG, that he needed to call them hot and juicy takes.
Hot and juicy.
Delicious.
Delicious hot and juicy.
Starting to get hungry now
Yeah. That's why we ate before.
and dying.
Don't
Oh,
die.
James, you match
He's
your
also got a-
microphone.
Do I match? Oh, I do. I'm
He's
orange
also got
and
the ASMR episode.
The ASMR.
ASMR is a D&D race. Is it
You
ASMR?
you feel so amped up but so relaxed at the same time.
If you haven't
There might be
figured-
enough people out there that get that
If
reference.
you haven't figured it out yet, Nathan not only is someone that we got to play a game with, and who's creating a game, but he also is in our new D&D campaign.
Yeah.
Yes, D's D&D group.
D's.
He's our giant.
3D's D&D.
3DDs.
3D. Yeah, which we will hopefully be. Actually, I've already put everyone committed to the next round. So
I was going to say, hopefully what? When the schedule changed.
I am
Quit
so.
changing my schedule.
Look, I'm in so much trouble because if everyone shows up that is in that little chat group, then
Oh.
we're up to like 11
It's
players.
gonna be great.
Oh.
It's gonna be chaos.
You'll just have to DM through the chat group.
We might actually
no
beat
kidding.
it that time around.
Look, that would be
Destroy
great
it.
because then we can do what is it? Kids on Bikes,
Yep. That's the next one.
Goonies tabletop,
Goonies style
basically.
tabletop.
All right.
I thought it was very much a reaction to Stranger Things coming out. But then they
I think
released their own
it
one.
was because I think they were working on it previously, but I think once Stranger Things came out, they went, "Oh, we should really push this."
Yeah.
I mean, that's smart. It worked.
Yeah.
They've said that there's been a huge surge in D&D players over the last couple of years. Part of that might be from Stranger Things.
I think that's a little bit of it. I think additionally,
Maybe a tiny
part of
part.
it is 5th edition. Once 5th edition came out, there was so much simplification of rules that had before pushed players away. That
Yeah.
and then as well as the
Scare off
online
new
role-playing
players.
games with
Well-
So you have Critical Role, and then
thank
you
you,
have
those-
the Adventure Zone
Yep.
podcast.
I think all of those together.
And you just
Harmon Quest, like we talked
Yep,
about
Harmon
earlier.
Quest.
Some Harmon Quest in there.
it's just more acceptable to play that now too.
It's
Like,
okay to
people
be
are-
nerdy.
Yeah, people are more open about it.
Well, from my special events side, people are looking for some quality time that you don't normally get anymore.
Exactly.
A lot of people are working more than ever and making less than ever, and
Well,
they want to come together and experience something versus just be there.
Yeah.
Well, and like we've said on the show before, like Nathan has said, you don't get quality time with people anymore. Through gaming, James and I have met so many people. We have lots of quality
They're
time.
all jerks like me.
It's been a really cool adventure.
It has. It really has. But well, we're actually just about out of time now. We've managed to make it to the end. I haven't died yet.
He's
I
not
mean,
dead yet.
We filled up a
I'm
lot of
close.
time with all the That James.
Did they do it again today?
No.
Was it bad?
Well, I didn't hear it.
Actually, I have to say both of you.
Probably
both
me,
you guys.
because
You're doing this just for future Dennis.
Yes.
aren't you?
And then we've had
Cut this
the
whole section.
toddler rhino running
can't.
around.
We did have toddler rhino. Oh, she's here.
That's not a
That's our
rhino.
cue
That's
that
our
we need to go.
toddler.
Does anybody have any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No.
No?
I thought you were going to play more games.
Thank you.
Yes,
so
we're gonna play more games.
Thank you so much for letting us test play your game, and it was
Oh yeah.
a really fun experience.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Thanks for breaking it and letting me fix it. And
Yeah,
you
well-
have to play the new version with the new witch.
Yes,
Out
I
there.
will.
Ooh,
It's a
is
quick
there
game.
I
is there
probably
a
won't like it as
sandwich?
much. I'm just kidding.
And if you guys look online at the Facebook, you'll see art kind of as it comes out. We're doing some cool stuff with that.
Just out of curiosity, who did you get for your artist?
A friend, I'll have to see if she wants to be blasted or not. But
Okay.
if she does, then we'll tag her in the art online. But
Oh, awesome.
Sweet. Well, yeah, definitely thank you again for coming and recording with us. And
Yeah.
happy
all that
New
fun
Year, guys.
stuff.
All right.
Keep an eye out for the links on our
Yeah,
Facebook,
we will be sharing all
Twitter.
the links. Keep an eye out for our express episodes or whatever you want to call them. Our
Bonus levels.
levels. Thank you.
Rabble.
What-
Rabble.
What
Now
were
put
they?
that eye back in.
Those hot
Yes.
and juicy takes.
Hot and juicy takes.
They're all coming.
Juicy to goes.
Hot and juicy to goes with fries. Dennis is making murder eyes at me.
And a shake.
In a shake.
You got to drink
Strawberry
a shake while you do
shake.
it.
I'll be fine once I have new lungs.
And those
So-
robo lungs are coming. Hold in there.
They're coming.
Balto's
Got them
bringing
off of Amazon.
You have been listening to Rulebooks Anonymous. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Minds. You can find the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, Spreaker, all the things. And we're going to see you all here next time at Rulebooks Anonymous, where we sponsor your addiction.
Fairly well.
Toodles.
You've been listening to Rulebooks Anonymous. You can find us on social media at Rulebooks Anonymous on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Minds.com. Rulebooks Anonymous is available on Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and CastBox.